Okay, let's talk about something that really caught everyone's attention on our site this week. Picture this: a massive ship in the Arabian Gulf, and suddenly its navigation just cuts out. That was the reality in Qatar recently. They actually had to shut down all vessel traffic, said it was a GPS technical fault.
Right, technical fault. But it signals something much bigger, doesn't it? A huge weak spot in how global shipping works.
Exactly, and that's what we're really going to dig into today.
Yeah, this whole spike in GPS jamming and spoofing, particularly in the Middle East, it's alarming. So our mission here is to understand why it's happening and, what it really means for the future of navigating at sea. Are the systems we rely on, like GPS, GNSS, still fit for purpose?
Seems like a big question mark right now. Let's start with Qatar's move. October 4th, they just stopped everything. Full suspension. And even though they eased up a bit on October 7th, they're still saying, look, big ships, tankers, LNG carriers, no sailing at night between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Which basically tells you they don't think it's safe after dark. The risk is too high. And the scale of this, it's not just one or two ships. Windward, the maritime AI company, they're reporting hundreds of vessels every single day.
Hundreds. Wow.
Yeah. In the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, they're seeing signals interference, and worse, spoofing, where the ship's own system, the AIS, shows it in a completely wrong place.
Like those phantom positions, ships appearing deep inland.
Exactly. Literally digitally sailing in the desert. It sounds bizarre, but it's happening frequently.
And it's not just digital weirdness, is it? It's causing actual accidents.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was that collision, 2 tankers back in June, south of Hormuz, right after reports of extensive GPS spoofing in the area.
And that MSC Antonia case, that one's wild. Ran aground near Jeddah in May.
Right, and then tracking services showed it stuck hard aground, but in the desert, on
Yeah.
a different continent altogether.
It makes you wonder, can you even trust your screens anymore?
Well, that's precisely the point. That's why insiders are saying this is a major shakeup. We heard from one source, really well placed, who said basically everything needs a rethink. This over-reliance on GNSS and GPS just isn't sustainable.
Everything rethought and reconceived, that's huge.
It is. And it's not just about the tech. It's about the procedures, the skills.
Which brings us to the regulators, right? Port state control, they're paying attention.
Definitely. They're in the mix, as our source put it. Expect enhanced inspections. More focus on actual navigation skills, proper watchkeeping.
So a return to basics, in a way, back to fundamental seamanship.
Looks like it. You can't just blindly trust the technology when it can be manipulated like this. Human oversight, traditional skills, they're becoming critical again.
And there's another angle here. Autonomous vessels, what does this do to their development?
Well, it potentially slows things right down, doesn't it? I mean, these ships depend entirely on precise, reliable positioning data.
If that data can be faked or jammed.
Exactly. How can an autonomous ship operate safely? It really undermines the core concept. That source specifically mentioned this as a major consequence.
So we're in this tricky spot. The tech we rely on is vulnerable, and the future tech might be stalled because of it. What's the way forward?
Well, people are looking at alternatives, more resilient systems. Yarden Gross, who's the CEO of Orca AI, he described the situation really well.
What did he say?
He said bridge crews are basically navigating in a kind of digital fog. Position data gets corrupted. Other ships might just disappear from your screen, or phantom ones appear.
Zil fog. Yeah, that captures it. So what's Orca AI's angle?
They're pushing for AI systems based on computer vision. Think cameras, sensors, combined with AI smarts. It acts like a second layer of perception, the sort of digital co-pilot. It sees what's actually there, physically.
Ah, okay, so it bypasses the compromised GPS or AIS data. It detects ships visually.
Precisely. It doesn't rely on those radio signals. It sees the ship, tracks it, regardless of what the GPS or AIS might be saying. It's about adding a layer that's harder to fool.
So it complements things like radar and, crucially, the crew's own eyes.
Yeah, strengthens both. Gives the crew more reliable information to work with when the digital picture gets messy.
But installing this kind of advanced AI computer vision
Right.
across the global fleet, that sounds expensive and complex. How fast can that realistically happen?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The deployment speed versus the urgency of the threat. It really boils down to this core conflict.
Yeah.
We love the convenience of these digital tools, GPS, AIS, all of it, but they're proving easy to compromise.
So we need systems that are tougher, more redundant, and we need people with the skills to handle it when the tech fails.
That's the crux of it. Resilient tech and renewed human skill. Both are essential.
So as we wrap this up, here's something to think about. If this GPS jamming forces us back to basics, demanding more human vigilance, while also potentially slowing down the march towards fully autonomous ships, what kind of unexpected solutions or technologies might pop up in that space? What fills that gap between relying on vulnerable systems and waiting for fully robust autonomy? That's the really interesting question now, isn't it? What comes next?